Hello and welcome to Subway NIBFA today. I'm Barry Green. This is the first show of 2018 and we've got some superb football to bring you. We've got two all-action National League Cup matches and two games from the National League last Saturday that brought no fewer than 15 goals. We also have December's Goal of the Month contenders and we'll announce the winner of our competition that we ran before Christmas for 2 tickets to the next Northern Ireland Home International. As well as that, we have a new competition today where you can win one of 3 3-month passes for the Hilton Health Club at Temple Patrick. Today we'll be joined by former Irish League player and manager Stephen Small, the holder of a UEFA Pro licence. Stephen is currently first team coach at Cliftonville and we'll be getting Stephen's thoughts on our 4 featured games. First up, we go to the Dub for an under-18 cup game. It features Cliftonville and ARDS. We saw 5 goals, all scored by the boys from North Down. Let's take a look at the highlights.
ARDS and Cliftonville met in an under-18 National League Cup match at the Dub, and the North Down side recorded a fantastic 5-0 success. ARDS in their red and blue traditional colours settled immediately in the 4G surface. Harry McElrath and Ross Ferguson combined after 3 minutes with the ball running kindly into the arms of the Reds keeper Ethan McGrath. ARDS continued to threaten. Ferguson disrupted play in midfield. He then fed McElrath. Keelan Cunningham tried to square a pass to Luke McKee, who couldn't quite get the ball under his spell. Well, Cliftonville couldn't say that they weren't warned. With 10 minutes gone, Cunningham provided the assist for Luke McKee to open the scoring at the second attempt. McKee making it 1-0 to ARDS. Down at the other end, a floated Donald Rock's corner caused ARDS all sorts of problems in defence. When Corey Pollock failed to grab the high ball, Nathan Heath steered a shot over the crossbar. Well, the ARDS pressure continued as they began to play with confidence and creativity. Keelan Cunningham on the edge of the Reds' box dropped his shoulder, but watched in vain as his effort came back off the angle of the post and the crossbar, with McGrath beaten. ARDS did retain possession on this occasion, but couldn't yet find that elusive second goal. Before half-time, ARDS went agonisingly close once more. Connor Maxwell showed neat footwork, playing it into McGrath, whose ball somehow evaded not 1 but 2 of his teammates. Cliftonville then fashioned an opportunity for themselves. Rocks and Davey were involved initially. Rhys Gregory pushed his effort just wide of the ARDS goal. In fact, it could have been 1 apiece at the break. Davey, again a central figure, played in Hamill, who shot straight at Pollock, the ARDS keeper doing well to scoop the loose ball at the second attempt. The Reds were encouraged and after the break mounted their first attack of the second half. Kieran Donnelly linking up well with Hamill, Gregory firing ultimately into the side netting. ARDS' second goal came via a long punt downfield. Connor Maxwell's ball found Cunningham, who showed pace, and he was clipped by McGrath in the Reds' goal. Connor Maxwell it was who stepped up to make no mistake from the spot to make it 2-0 to ARDS, and that's effectively where the match all but ended for the Reds, as Donald Rocks received a red card for dissent and Cliftonville had to play the remaining half hour with just 10 men. ARDS went 3-0 up just 2 minutes later. Some great play initially from Tweedy and McElrath. And what about this for a finish from midfielder number 6 Ross Ferguson, who gives the keeper no chance with this flashing shot. Cliftonville, undeterred, went close to getting a goal back. Gregory crossing to Aidan McGeough, who saw his shot saved by the alert Pollock. ARDS just about keeping that clean sheet and no more. The Reds were then to concede 2 more before the end. A great breakaway goal made it 4-0 to Ards. Keelan Cunningham evading his marker before dinking the ball terrifically over the oncoming McGrath. That's one that the Ards striker understandably enjoyed. And Ards, by this stage, were comfortable. Dominating against the 10 men of Cliftonville, Ards very nearly got a 5th. Jack Owens fired his shot just wide of the target. Then with 5 minutes remaining, Ards did get that 5th goal that they sought. Again, great interplay in midfield and in attack. Nazim Owed-Hamlet found Owens, who in turn laid it on a plate for Bo Tush to find the bottom corner. Then right at the end, Ards almost got a 6th goal. Again it was Tush who fancied his chances, the Ards man stepping inside before rattling the woodwork. Full time though, Cliftonville 0, Ards 5.
Well, I'm delighted to say I've been joined by a man who played for Cliftonville in a distinguished Irish League career before moving into management. He's currently coaching at youth level and also coaches the first team at Solitude. I am, of course, talking about Stephen Small. Stephen, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for the invite. Glad to be here.
Stephen, give us a bit of a flavour of what your typical week looks like, because I understand that you're involved in quite a bit of coaching.
Yeah, it's a wide spectrum of coaching. I say that during the week I'm coaching anywhere from 6 years old to 36 years old from the coaching programs that we have out of the University of Ulster Jordanstown for the young fundamental player through to development, and also first team coach at Cliftonville. And during the week we have an elite academy, football academy at Belfast, Midden, where I'm one of the coaching staff there.
Certainly seems as if you've got a bit of a hectic schedule week by week. Let's focus on Cliftonville and your role there. You're currently 5th in the league. Would you have anticipated being higher up the table at this stage?
Yeah, I mean, at the top end of that table, there's a lot of competition. I mean, you've obviously got Coleraine into the mix this year. Glenavon are doing fantastically well. Mm-hmm. The usual suspects of Crusaders and Linfield, and we're just trying to aim as high as we possibly can. A little bit of transition with a new manager coming in and myself and new ideas. So we're pleased where we are at the minute, but we certainly are aiming to get into the European spots.
And tell me as well, Cliftonville are a club who are known to promote their youth players right up into the senior ranks. Presumably you and Barry are following in the footsteps of those who have come before you as well by doing just that.
Yeah, I mean they have a real good policy of promoting young players, and mm-hmm. You can think of Liam Boyce and Joe Gormley and all those players coming through, and we'd like to think that we would see a few more coming through our first team ranks. And the new manager Barry Gray has a past history at Warren Point of promoting young players, so I would imagine the same policy will be enforced at Cliftonville.
Turning to that 5-0 win for Ards against Cliftonville, the Reds boss, and you'll know him very well, Barry Johnson, wasn't happy after that performance. Stephen, in your opinion, where was the game won and lost?
Well, I think first of all, Ards were very, very impressive. Yeah. I think the sending off didn't help Cliftonville, but as Barry said, post-game, that Ards were the better team, and they forced their game on Cliftonville and deservedly ran out as winners. I think they technically and tactically were better on the night.
Who stood out for you in the Ards ranks? I know their centre forward. Certainly, he was a useful player for me, wasn't he?
Yeah. Young lad in the Ards team, Keelan Cunningham, I believe you call him. He was strong, robust, athletic, but he also had great technique and showed that with the goal and his assist as well.
Quite a resolute performance, an impressive performance by ARDS. If you're Barry Johnson, if you're Cliftonville, you're coming off the back of that defeat, what does he say to his players?
Well, I think Barry's very positive by his nature. I think he'll be disappointed. He'll go back on the training pitch. He's a very good coach, Barry, and he'll go back on the training pitch. He'll work hard at the things that went wrong, but he'll still be positive because he's got a group of young players who respect him. And I think Barry will just try and improve things on the training pitch, and no better man for that.
Great, Stephen. Thanks for now. For our second game, we stay with the National League Cup action. This time, it's an under-15 encounter that required extra time to separate the teams. From Allen Park in Antrim, it's Dungannon United Youth against Midden City. On commentary for us, it's Johnny Martin.
Midden City and Dungannon United Youth under-15s met at Allen Park in the National League Cup. Midden City wearing the red and Dungannon in the yellow. The County Tyrone side were first to threaten in windy conditions. This in-swinging corner eventually led to an opportunity for Jack Muldoon, but he could only hit the post from a narrow angle. Midden City put together a nice move down the left side involving Ronan McAleer and Jack Harkin. Harkin's cross made the Dungannon keeper backpedal, but he did well to gather the ball. Midden City then took the lead before half-time when Alex McNeil's header was judged to have crossed the line after a goal line scramble. 1-0 to Midden City. Into the second half with Dungannon trailing, but they started it brightly after some great work down the left side from Vicky Saldana. His pass allowed a teammate to have a strike from distance, but the effort just going wide on this occasion. Dungannon kept the pressure on and deservedly got the equaliser in the second half when Vicky Saldana powerfully hammered home from inside the box to make the cup tie 1-1. With a change of ball, Midden City thought they had taken the lead, but this effort was ruled out for an offside. This well-timed challenge set up a Midden City attack, and after a powerful run, Pierce Quigley shot from distance, forcing a save from Olas Wisniewski in the Dungannon goal. Into extra time, and another well-timed challenge allowed an opportunity for Midden City. They attacked down the right side. Pierce Quigley's cross found the feet of Oran O'Doherty, who found the top corner in extra time. Midden City scored another to make it 3-1 off camera, and they will progress to the next round.
So Stephen, two teams who really wanted to progress to the next round, and ultimately it was Midden City who showed the grit, the determination to go through. Yeah,
I know John Cunningham well, their coach, and he's got a wealth of experience that he's passing on to those young lads, and they're a very physical team, very technical. I think their physical presence was a big factor in them in pushing through and winning the cup tie.
Yeah, you mentioned the physicality. Their tackling from Midden City was fair but robust at the same time, and it was a well-timed challenge that started the move for their second goal from O'Doherty in extra time. Yeah,
the young right back went into a challenge. It was probably a 40-60, not in his favour, so he won the challenge, played it up the line to the centre forward Pierce Quigley, who done fantastically well to play a ball into the middle for O'Doherty to slam it home.
Yeah, it's a good win all in all for Midden City though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they've travelled all the way up, and I think as John was saying, and probably Kieran O'Kane, the coach at Dungannon, it was post-Christmas, kids maybe hadn't had as many training sessions, so John will be delighted to have put on a display to get themselves through the next round.
Thanks very much, Stephen. Well, now it's time for December's Goal of the Month competition. We've got 3 quality goals to show you, and for the first time since this show started, they're all from the same game, when Ridgeway and Ardoyne clashed at Billy Neal in Dundonald. So Stephen, that was goal A from Ardoyne's Troy Canavan, and for me, the ball over the top made it.
Absolutely. Classic counter-attack, great run and sublime pass by young Conor Lavery. Put it into the stride of Troy Canavan, and he dispatched it into the far corner with aplomb. Great goal.
Super goal. Now goal B, scored by Ridgeway's Nathan Leckie to bring the score back to 2-1 in that same game. This also was a fine effort. So Stephen, what impressed you about that goal?
Well, it was a fine individual goal, full of technique, and Nathan Leckie was able to shift the ball onto his left foot. Was the best thing he did, was shift it onto his left foot and hit a really good technical shot in the top corner. But the ability to just shift that ball onto his left foot was what made the goal for me. Fine
left foot. And finally, goal C then, also scored by Nathan Leckie. This was much more of a solo effort. Let's see this one. So Stephen, your thoughts on Nathan's second goal there?
Well, he had a fine game for a start, and Nathan loves the left foot, so he's cut in from the right hand side. He's made his way through a couple of defenders. Obviously he was always looking to get on his left foot, and another fine individual effort. Really good goal.
So you've seen all 3 contenders for December. Who have you opted for goal of the month?
Very difficult, because I do like individual class, and Nathan had that in abundance. But for me, the quality ball, the counter attack, Conor Lavery's pass was sublime, as I said, and Troy Canavan dispatched it with unbelievable confidence. So Great. For me, that was the goal of the month.
Thanks very much, Stephen. Congratulations then to Troy on that wonderful strike against Ridgeway. Subway representatives will be out to present you with your Goal of the Month award in the next week or so. So well done to Troy. Now it's time for our final 2 matches played last weekend, and no fewer than 15 goals we witnessed in them. The first match is an under-14 National League clash with Cliftonville taking on Glentoran. It was played at the Dub and turned out to be a tad one-sided. On commentary, Lord James.
Glentoran are well drilled, usually have a strong game plan and come with a winning mentality. So it's little surprise Jason Lindsay's under-14 sides have not lost since 2015. Glentoran in their traditional green, black and red came out of the blocks from the first whistle. Cliftonville in white and red spied the danger early on and battled in midfield, but first blood went to the Glens. They took the lead at the Dub through Elliot Wood 10 minutes in, set up effortlessly by Matthew Carson and requiring just a simple chip from a central position. Cliftonville's attempts to worm their way into the game, even in the early stages, were quickly smothered by the dominant Glens. This curled attempt landing in the box, but bouncing out of play. Cliftonville goalkeeper Ross Mattea saw the ball soon after this goal kick as Lindsay's boys began to turn the screw. The athletic Connor Falls won it in to find Charlie Lindsay, who served up Wood for his brace on 18 minutes. A confident finish from inside the box. Six minutes later, a free kick from the far left side of the pitch was to provide a direct attack for the Glens. Murray Wilson earning a place on the scoresheet for leaping to poke one home with his left foot, meaning quite the sucker punch for the Reds. Ethan Carey strived to be creative in midfield, but Glentoran upped the gears and chased further goals with consummate ease. Johnny Russell picked the ball up and charged down the left side with it glued to his instep before passing to Lindsay, who struck with great control, demanding strong reactions from Mattea. With a clear target in sight though, Connor Falls pounced, leaning into a classy left-footed finish. Trailing 4-0 at the break, Cliftonville couldn't say that they weren't warned that the second half would be just as tough. As the rain got heavier, the Reds' wide players found it impossible to contain Falls, who outpaced his marker Chris Campbell from just inside his own half to sprint toward goal. He lured Mattea off his line for that one, and with an open goal at his mercy, slotted coolly into the bottom opposite corner of the net. At the other end, and desperately chasing a comeback, Cliftonville's Jackson Reed raced toward Dylan Graham's goal, but his ball in was headed away into Jake Wallace's path. Glen's skipper Callum Marshall kept possession, staving off his marker well, to find in-form Falls, who crossed to Wood, who, showing fantastic control, pivoted in front of goal and completed his hat-trick, 56 minutes in. The wet conditions did nothing to discourage Glentoran, including the prodigal Charlie Lindsay, who escaped a trio of opposition players before connecting with Aaron Whiteman on the right side. His high, looping cross was headed away, but Jamie McDonnell was loitering to restart the attack. The powerful Matthew Carson released the ball from the left, providing the perfect assist for Callum Marshall to tap in easily, bringing the score to Glentoran 7, Cliftonville 0. The free-scoring Glentoran side still had more in the tank as the minutes ticked away. Carson drove the ball forward for Charlie Lindsay after having put in an exceptional shift to earn some of the glory himself. Glentoran 8, Cliftonville 0.
So Stephen, 8-0 the scoreline in that match, as resounding a victory as you'll ever see.
Yeah, I mean, they're impressive, Glentoran. I mean, make no bones about it, they're probably, at that age group, the best team in Ireland, north or south and south. So they've got star performers all over the place. Jason Lindsay's had those boys together, well drilled, great team, and they have great individuals, but they work tirelessly as a team.
A great hat-trick from Elliot Wood, but he was one of many star performers on the day.
Yeah, I mean, they've got many of them. They've got, Kieran Marshall, they've got Charlie Lindsay, they've got, Elliot Wood was outstanding, obviously. There's a couple of goals put on a plate for him. But as I say, Jason Lindsay's formed a real team mentality with him, and they're impressive. And I know it's very one-sided, but that's not the first or the last time you'll see that type of scoreline from Glentoran.
And you'll hope Cliftonville don't get too downhearted with that result.
It's hard at youth level when you've took a hammering like that, but I think everybody knows how impressive they are. And to their credit, Cliftonville didn't sit back and just try to eke out a couple of chances and put on a defensive display. They actually went out and tried to go toe-to-toe with them in terms of going at them, but it certainly didn't work.
Yeah, that Glentoran side haven't lost from 2015, I think it is, and it's now 9 wins from 9 in the league for the Glens. The Reds, meanwhile, sit back in 5th. Now, you will remember in the run-up to Christmas, we ran a competition for 2 tickets to the next Northern Ireland Home International, as well as some Subway platters for your team. We were inundated with entries, and Stephen would like you to pick the winner out of the proverbial hat. Funny looking hat.
What a great prize.
Yeah. Let's
Good
see
luck to you all.
who has won. Who's won, Stephen?
Peter Taylor is the lucky person.
Great job. So well done to Peter. You win 2 tickets to the next home Northern Ireland game, yet to be announced, and you also win Subway platters for your team. We'll be in touch shortly to put the arrangements in place for you. Now, news of a new competition now. Our sponsor Subway, in conjunction with Hilton Livingwell Health Club at Temple Patrick, are offering us a fantastic new prize for 2018. We've got 3 individual 3-month subscriptions to the Hilton Livingwell Health Club at Temple Patrick to give away. All you've got to do to enter is like and share the competition post that is on our Exporte Facebook page and tag 5 friends in the comments section of that post. Full terms and conditions are on the post as well, and good luck with that. Now, to our final match, which is a 7-goal thriller. It features Linfield and St Oliver Plunkett in the Under-15 National League. It was played at the Dub. Mark Wesley, watch this one.
Hi everyone, welcome from a cold, wet and windy Dub, where our featured games between the Under-15s of Linfield and St Oliver Plunkett. Generally, when these two get together, expect lots of action and of course plenty of goals. Oliver Plunkett in black got us underway, the Blues defending the goal to our right and their traditional strip of blue. First goal of the game was to come in the 7th minute when an injection of pace from the Linfield number 10, Charlie Allen, who would cross into the box and find the head of Kane Story. Linfield 1, Plunkett 0. Three minutes later it was pretty much as you were. Linfield were to find more success on the right, more running, more one-touch passing between Allen and, dare I say it, yep, the same old story. Linfield were to get a second goal. Linfield 2, Plunkett 0. Now, given the possession, the passing and the quality of the Linfield goals, you may think the Blues had this one in the bag. Not so. Coach Les Johnson brought a determined side to face Linfield, and Oliver Plunkett were certainly not going to lie down. A through pass from Liam Carr was to find number 5, Sean Stewart, whose first effort was saved by Billy McDowell, but Stewart's sublime second effort nestled in the back of the net, 2-1. Then after Linfield tried to play out from the back, Plunkett intercepted. And the ball then headed forward. Colin Duffy took to the stage and would probably be a goal and a firm contender for Goal of the Month. Watch this. Take a bow, son. All the signs were that Plunkett were gritting their teeth. For the neutral supporter, this was turning out to be a real cracker of a game. If you thought the first half was good, stand by for more of the second. A dreadful Linfield goal kick found the head of the Plunkett number 10, Liam Carr. Carr at point-blank range managed to head the ball to Matthew Mains, who slotted home from close range. Plunkett from 2-0 down were now in command.
Hey, we don't stop! Stay disciplined!
And from a Linfield free kick, the Blues were almost back in the game. Kyle Flynn passed to number 8, Kanati, who linked up well with Charlie Allen, and Joshua Archer almost levelled for the Blues. The cross coming across from Allen. Linfield were, however, to equalise, this time from a corner kick on the right. It was Kane Story the provider. Kanati was not going to miss this time. The Plunkett keeper given no chance. 3-3. What a game. The way both sides had acquitted themselves, credit to both teams and the coaching staff, and a draw would possibly have been a fair result. Or did Linfield have something else in mind? Despite encouragement from the sideline, a final Linfield surge and a through ball from Ross McCausland for number 18 Kane Story. And there 1-2 was always going to find the net. Charlie Allen back on the score sheet in the 70th minute. Fair play to both sides, the game finishing Linfield 4, St Oliver Plunkett 3.
So Stephen, that was unlucky for Plunkett, who led 3-2, having been at one stage been 2-0 down. How did you see the game?
I just saw it as a very good game in tricky conditions where both teams try to play good football on a difficult day, and it was end to end, ebbed and flowed, and Plunkett got themselves back into the game, and then Linfield took their superiority on and won the game. It was a very good game of football, very impressive. Great
advertisement. And a potential Goal of the Month contender for January, Conal Duffy's effort to make it 2-2. That was a cracker, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's very diminutive on the pitch, full of big, strong players, and he stepped through and hit a really good strike. Great technique from a little man, and worthy of probably another contender for the next Goal of the Month.
Definitely. Well, Linfield are second in the table, 6 points behind Green Island, and the Blues have played a game more. That's it from us for this week. Stephen, we do hope you enjoyed your time with us today.
Thank you. I really, really did.
Thanks for coming and being our expert today. We hope you too enjoyed your time with us. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again in a fortnight with another studio guest poised to add their expertise. If you want to get in touch with us, you can drop us a message on Facebook or Twitter via the NIBFA or Exporte pages. Go there to enter the competition to win those health passes with the Hilton. Join us again in 2 weeks' time. We'll see you then.